Now, staying in the region, let's head to Egypt, where a delegation of the International Monetary Fund is in Cairo to review the country's progress on economic reforms. Now, the trip is also expected to inform the disbursement of the second installment of a $12 billion loan program. The delegation will meet with officials from the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank. Of course, Egypt signed the 3-year program with the IMF in November after floating the pound in a dramatic move aimed at unlocking foreign inflows and boosting exports. It promised a raft of tough reforms in return for the IMF loan, including narrowing its budget deficit, as well as a host of other bilateral backers. Now, the IMF released a first installment of about $2.75 billion back in November. Now, Yasser Hakim joins us in Cairo with an update on this. Yasser, welcome to the show. Now, Lagarde did praise the progress Egypt's government is making so far, but she also said high inflation needs to be addressed, needs to be checked in the country. Is the government confident that the IMF will approve the second tranche of the loan or suddenly ask for more reforms?
Well, Uche, according to the Minister of Finance here, Amr Garhi, he talked on Sunday about being confident that the loan will go through. The second tranche of $1.2 billion will be received, and he even offered a date. He said it will be received in June. So it seems that the government is confident. One of the main issues to be discussed, obviously, is, like you said, controlling the inflation rates that reached 32–33% in March and February this year, and that's extremely high. And how to deal with it? Would it be through increasing interest rates, as the IMF is hoping to do, or keep it as it is, as we know that some government officials or sources have been saying that the government is planning, the central bank is planning to keep the interest rates as they are in his next meetings in the second part of May. So this will be one of the main discussions on the table here in Cairo.
Now, Yasser, Moody's ratings agency did come out and say, or rather warn, that the risk of the implementation of the IMF loan and, of course, the country's fiscal consolidation targets could suddenly be a risk with the growing public discontent in the country right now. So, Yasser, is public discontent slowing the pace of the implementation of these reforms?
Well, the first phase of reforms, it passed by safely, although it was strict measures and really had a lot of burden on the people by increasing prices, inflation, the devaluation of the pound obviously raised all kinds of goods prices, and the reduction of subsidies on energy and electricity and food. All this has had a lot of burden, and that's why at this point the government is planning to speak with the IMF about slowing down a bit the plan in regards to the reduction of subsidies. There's supposed to be in June another phase of increase in electricity prices and energy prices, oil and fuel. And that in turn always increases prices of everything, all products, because everything is linked to electricity and to energy. So the government, in trying to avoid any public backlash, is trying to convince the IMF to slow down, maybe not reduce this year any subsidies on energy, not raise any prices, especially of oil and energy, and probably postpone it a while still adhering to the rest of the plan, the reform plan. And I think this will be, as the government says, they are confident the IMF will approve to slow down the reforms, just to keep the social side of the country intact and to help the social welfare issues.
But yeah, so of course there are quite a number of concerns. Some of course point to the growing rate of public debt. Give us some insight into some of what are the other concerns posed.
Yes, public debt is a big issue. And also international debt. It's been increasing in the last couple of years, but not yet in what you can call the dangerous level. Yes, they are now trying to reduce or to lessen the dependency on debt. But one other issue that will be discussed is investments and how to try to attract more investors. Egypt is targeting $10 billion of foreign direct investments this year. And last year it has not met the $10 billion it wanted. I think they had $6 billion of FDIs in 2016. Now for 2017 there's an investment law that should have been ratified last year, and it's been late. It's at the parliament now waiting for approval. If this goes through, it could help. Also facilities, a host of facilities will be announced in the next few days for foreign investors to come to Egypt and would help in attracting investments to the country. And this is a big issue that would help Egypt a lot in its growth numbers, and also in with dollars and hard currency that is quite lacking at this point, and try to consolidate revenues that have been lost through tourism, for example, to bring the money through foreign investments. So this is also one of the topics that will be discussed with the IMF.
We'll certainly get an update from you when that meeting is over. Thank you so much, Yasser, for joining us. Yasser Akim joining us there in Cairo.